this. So I have some work I have to get done, and I just decided I would stream in case anyone was interested. Basically, I need to take these photos of these cats, um, and this yellow flower around their necks needs to be changed to match the sunflower's yellow. And I've already started to work on it. I actually did this a little bit of uh, ahead of time before I actually thought about doing this, streaming it. So I have some of it done already. But I'll go ahead and work on the rest, and you guys can watch. You can see how I work. Take it from there. So I'm actually going to put on a little bit of music while I'm doing this. So I'll just put on some Coldplay. So I like Coldplay, and I haven't listened to Coldplay in a long time, so why not? Switch my playback device. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, so I just select basically what I'm doing here is I've already retouched this photo, but as you can see, I haven't done the second kitten yet. So basically you just you choose your brush here, which is a color replacement tool, and then you just select color you want, real basic. And you start to work. Now, I'm actually doing a bad practice right now of working on the original file, the original layer, just because I know that what I need to do is really simple, and it's nothing that I can't go back and redo, within a couple minutes. So basically, you just stay on the lines. The color here actually looks a little yellow, or I'm sorry, a little green, but that's okay. This doesn't have to be exact. Let's just change the color. Not a whole lot to this. Basically, for the photo itself, once I'm done with this flower real quick here, I'll show you what I did. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so bear with me if you would. Now, there's lots of different ways you can do this. I'm just doing the quickest for me. You can mask this entire flower off if you wanted to, and then just do a color change And that's what we have so far. I'm actually going to go into here with my brush. I'm going to take the opacity down to 10, which I've already done. And some of these very white highlights, I'm just going to tone them down a bit. Actually, my brush is a bit large. Just a couple little strokes. Alright. This image is done. I'm going to actually save this out. And then I'm going to save it out as a second copy. I'm doing this so that I can then go in and crop it. And hold down Shift. Whoops. Let's try it again. Just hold down Shift to create a perfect square. Oh, hey, sweet Dashi. They are cats, yeah. They're not mine. I'm just doing this for my mom, actually. So, the way that this works is I could crop it, I could crop it in the center, or I could crop it, I could make the crop larger. Not quite that large. Or I could just leave it, as is or whatever, but with photography and art, there's this kind of golden ratio. It's called the rule of thirds. And the rule of thirds meaning that the kittens right now, if I put them in the center, the picture wouldn't look very good because it's not an artistic, creative look. So if you move the cats, which is the centerpiece, if you move that, let me recenter this. Move the cats into the corner, and then you have this down here also in the corner, it'll be a much better photo. I'm actually going to move the cats kind of like right here. Hit OK, and there's the photo now. So that's kind of the idea of rule of thirds. So I'm going to save this out as my newly created JPEG. Go ahead and save it. Alright, now this image is done. Now this one still needs some work to it. I already went ahead and colored in the sunflower the way she wanted it. I'm going to go ahead and I'll go ahead and crop this for one. Do the same thing, draw out a square, and then try and frame this up so the kitten is more in the top right corner. Hit OK. And now I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, go ahead and put my pen down. Go ahead and do, let's see, some levels. The main focus is the kitten, of course, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the levels. We'll work on the red channel. Hold on, let me cancel out of this. I want to see the whole image. We could do curves, but I'll just do red channel for this. Not a whole lot of red. That's why I'm working on the extra layer. I'm an idiot. Let's go ahead and merge these. Levels. There we go. work on some of these. A lot of this is just kind of artistic appeal. How much I like certain colors as opposed to others. I think that looks good. Now you can bring that back up, and of course you can do the auto, but I don't really care for the auto. Mostly auto is just going to brighten it up, which it is what it is, but I don't really care for it. I'm going to do some brightness contrast. Let's do... With people, contrast is really, you don't want to go too far with people, but something like this, you can kind of bump it up quite a bit. Let's see, let's do some brightness. Let's leave it 6. Maybe bump that contrast down just a bit. Yeah, like that. Alright, let me go up to, let's go ahead and mess with the contrast a little bit more. See, if you go back a second time and you mess with things, it actually, it affects it in a slightly different way than the first time you do it. Again, I'm just kind of playing with this. Going to the extreme and then pulling it back and finding what I like. I think right there is good. You don't always have to do it a second time, but you know, I like to. Now let's add some vibrance. Now the vibrance, vibrance is different from saturation, so I'll show saturation. So if I just go into hue and saturation and I add saturation, what's going to happen is the whole, you know, it gets really crazy. The colors really pop and everything. And that's okay, but it doesn't always look natural. So I'm going to cancel that. Now if you go up to vibrance instead, vibrance is more of a distribution of color. So again, we have saturation, which you can bump it all the way up. It looks kind of crazy. Or you can bump the vibrance all the way. And again, what vibrance does is it's more of a distribution of color. So what I like to do, take this back to 0. I like to bump the vibrance, or I'm sorry, the saturation down to about -10, and then play with the vibrance and bump that up to maybe, you know, something mid-tone. Actually, that looks pretty decent. That's pretty high. Again, I'm just kind of playing, going back and forth, seeing what looks good. Now, see, that might actually be, you know, 70 might be overkill. So I'll back it down just a bit, maybe 55. It's a very slight effect. Actually, I think I will bump that up. Let's go 75. 76 is fine. Yeah, that's a more dramatic look and feel to it. I like it. So we're gonna go with that. We're going down, you know, down the levels here. Now what I could do, I could actually go in here and create a new layer. Oops, sorry. Let's duplicate that layer. What I could actually do is take this layer and do the HDR toning with it, which I'll just back out of this, but I just want to show, create some pretty significant changes, which again, depending on what you're going for, let's cancel out of that. I'll do Control Z. There we go. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see if I can find it, go into video, other, go to high pass. Now what this does, it looks kind of silly, right? But you take the high pass, you can bump it down a bit. Hey, I'm the Force. What's going on? How are you? You can bump this down a bit. I'm going to go like, can you make an overlay? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So you can bump this down a bit until you're satisfied with it. I'm going to go 1. I'm just going to go 2.0 just because. We'll take this high pass filter, and you'll pop into an overlay. Now what this does, basically it's a nice little trick to sharpen things. So you can see the difference, and it has this kind of nice effect to it. So I can do it this way, or I can actually just go in and create a new adjustment layer. Where is it? Actually, I'll just create, let's duplicate the layer. We'll go up here and we'll do, I haven't been using Photoshop for a while. I've been using some other programs, so I'm actually having to go back and sort of find where things are again. It's kind of interesting. So go to filter and we'll go to sharpen, unmask. We can kind of get the same effect, you know, both sharpen, it's the same idea. Bump this down just a bit, 130. So, and then you can compare the difference. So this is with the sharpen filter, or you can go in and you can do this method. It's the same thing, you know, essentially they do exactly the same thing. You can, of course, do them both, which actually for this particular image doesn't look too bad. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and save it. Go ahead and save the PSD, and then we'll go ahead and save it. It's a JPEG. And again, I'm not really too worried about anything. I can always go back and change things. This is a really simple fix. I'm not spending a whole lot of time on it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and go ahead and open that back up. So we have Sun Kitten, which is what I just did. Tab with Sun, Kittens 2. So okay, this is you know, just the difference here. This was just a simple fix. I haven't done anything with this one yet, except change the color of the sunflower, which is all she really asked for. But I'm just doing this as a favor to a friend, and so you can see the difference here. And again, all this is just personal preference. So again, nothing too dramatic really. So I'm going to go ahead and work on this image. I haven't done anything with this one yet. So this is straight from scratch. Go ahead and bring this in, create a layer. going to bump this, the contrast up. I like the contrast of this particular image up pretty high, but we lose too much in the face. Can I what? Oh, make an overlay? For what? What do you want me to make an overlay for? So I'll go ahead and mess with that. And we can go here. And again, the kittens are the center of attention, so I'm mostly focused on them for you for Twitch. Sure. What would you like done? Tell me exactly what you want, and I'll work on it for you. How about that? Let's go ahead and go with the levels. Go ahead and fix the green. I can take the green way down because, again, the focus is the kittens. I don't care about the greenery actually in this shot. There we go. That looks good. Need to mess with this a little bit more. Alright, looks good. Let's go mess with that contrast a bit more, see what we get. I do like it. I'm just gonna go with 20. Let's go ahead and do some vibrance. Bump that saturation down to -10. Bump the vibrance way up. Okay, that looks good. Basically, we're just going through and we're doing the exact same thing for all of these, for the exact, exact same thing we just did. Go filter. Let's go ahead and do sharpen. Looks good. Alright, let's go ahead, pick up my brush. Select this particular flower. Let's do that. Sure. And then we work. Now I like to work with a smaller brush. You can obviously bump it up and get a larger brush, but if you do that, there's a chance you can bleed over. And if you bleed over, then you have to go back, or you have to do an undo. Not a whole lot to do here. Move on to the second kitten. Now see, normally I'd be worried that I put too much contrast and it blew out the definition within the cat's face, but since it was already pretty blown out, I'm not too concerned about it. If I ever did decide, oh, it was too much, I can always go back and reduce that contrast. And you're probably thinking, well, there's a lot of white in these sunflowers and they're not really showing up. That's okay. It's going to fix that in a bit. Now, if I do product images for a client, or I'm doing something, like a person, a portrait, I'm a little more careful with how I'm doing things. With these kittens, I'm not really too concerned. So I can do all of this rather quickly, get away with it. Alright. So, before, after. Not quite done yet. I'll go ahead and get my brush, which I already have set to that same yellow with a very low opacity. And I'm just going to mute out some of this white by coloring over. Just using a very basic round brush, nothing spectacular. And there we have it. All done. Go ahead and save this. save it out as a JPEG. Go ahead and replace the original, so I can always just download it again if I need to. And then we're going to crop this. Same idea with the crop. We're going to move them about right there. And there we have it. Go ahead and name this too. Okay. As you can see, I've already done the yellow within the sunflower. And I'm going to go ahead and work on everything else now. Just like all the other images, go into the contrast, bump it up. Go with secondary contrast, which helps bring out some of those shadows. Okay. Go levels. Bring some of those deeper reds into it. There we go. Take these greens, knock them back a bit. And then we're going to knock out the blues to even things up. Very happy with that. And we're going to go into the vibrance. -10. And we're going to bump these up. And see again, what I meant about the distribution of the colors, if you look at his eyes, this kitten over here, if you look at his eyes, so just a little distribution there. I think that's good. And we're going to go same on sharpen mask. Whoops. Pretty happy with that. Overall, I think that's a pretty good image. So I'm going to go ahead and save this out. Save my PSD. Oops, wait for it to save. Go into my JPEGs. Go ahead and save over the original. And then we'll go and crop it. Make this a little bit bigger. Move that kitten up there. There we go. Happy with that. I'll save it as 2. Okay. Let's just look at what we've done. So we have I think I still need to crop this one out. Oh, nope, I got it. Never mind. I still need to mess with this one a bit. Oh, never mind. I got it. Didn't realize I had that one. I think this is the one I need to... Yeah, I still need to work on this guy. So we'll just pop this one up. Tab white sun. Go ahead and open him up. And then we're going to do the exact same thing. Now this one's actually a little bit blurry in the eyes. So I might do a mask over just the eyes and sharpen them a bit more. I'm not going to go so heavy on the contrast on this guy because he is very bright already, and I don't want to make him overly bright, so much so that we lose his face. Alright, let's go into levels. Just a little bit of blue on this guy. I think that looks pretty good. Let me open this up real quick. Oh, overlay for Twitch. Okay. Give me, let me get off there. Let me think about it before I give you a for sure. I'm actually sick right now, and so I'm not really doing anything today other than this Photoshop work. Let me go ahead and throw up my temps and get back to me. Do you have like an email or something? Hold on. I seem to have lost my restream chat. Okay, there it is. Yeah, if you would send me a PM on Twitch, and just message me your email and what you want the information to be and so on, and I'll get back to you. I'll have to look at it more thoroughly before I say yes or no, but it shouldn't be too difficult. Where was I? Vibrance. Knock this back. Actually, I'm gonna go, yeah, let's do -10, just like everything else. Okay, I like that. Let's go ahead and do it on sharp. I think I'm actually going to do something here. I'm going to take his eye, which is this nice blue color, and this extra layer I created, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to overlay it real quick. I'm going to shift that. I'm going to go overboard with it. And you'll see why. It looks terrible. And you're like, why would you do that? That looks horrible. So, go back. It looks terrible, right? That's okay. We're just going to take the opacity. We're going to drop it way down. Just give it a little tiny subtle excess. And then we can... Doesn't look like much. But it adds a little excess to it, which I like. Alright. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and merge this down. And I'm going to save it as the PSD. And we're going to save this. Save over the original. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and resample this yellow. I'm going to go back in, make sure all my colors are good. And then I'm actually going to tone some of these highlights down a bit, just like I did in the other. They're so bright, I don't want them to stand out quite so much. So we're just going to tone them back a bit. There we go. And let's do this one a little bit more. And there you have it. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and crop it. Then we're going to go in, we're going to go ahead and save this one as 2. Bam, done. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new folder. We're going to name it crops. Go ahead and correct these names real quick. I might go back in with this one and darken this these colors up just a bit more. Seems a bit faded compared to the others, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Let's bring it up. Photoshop. And we're going to go ahead and make a copy of it. We're going to take this. Let's see. Let's just mess with the contrast. I don't want to mess with the contrast, so let's actually just go into levels. See if I can darken these reds. I like that better. Go ahead and save that. I'm going to name this 3, just so I can compare the two. Yeah, I like that better. Alright, so we are done with our kitten images. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 2. That's our 5 images. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, that concludes the kitten work. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can let's see what we've got going on here. I'm actually, I think I'm going to pass on it. For now, at least. This is Sunday, and I've got a lot of work to do over the week. Hit me up sometime over the weekend, next weekend, and if you haven't found anyone to do it for you by then, I'll do it for you. But like I said, right now I'm not 100%. I'm kind of sick, and I'm actually probably going to get off here in just a little bit. But is there anything you guys would like to see Photoshop wise before I get off here? I can go over pretty much anything you'd like to see. Let's see. I can show you, I don't know. It's really all I have today. I just wanted to put that on while I got that done. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Shoot me a PM. But I think other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get off for the day. Thank you for watching, and hope everyone has a wonderful day. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you again for watching.